Hey peeps, I hope that you're having a fabulous week. I have a really important question for you, and that question is what do you want? What is it that you want from life right now? What do you want to achieve? What's the most important thing to you? And the reason I ask that is that I once had a business coach ask me that question, and I found it really difficult to answer. And at the time she asked me that, I had a lot going on in my life. I had multiple big projects happening, and something really wanted to give, something really needed to give, and I needed to figure out, what that was. And she asked me, what do you want? So at the time, I was running my law firm. I was also running my online conveyancing service. I was also in the early stages of growing my software company, getting that off the ground. And I was about 7 months pregnant with my second child. And so I had all these things going on, and in a way, all of them were big opportunities in terms of the businesses, and I was going on about. I think I was whinging about how busy I was, and that was making me miserable. And she said to me, "Well, what do you want?" And I said, "Well, what do you mean? Like, what do you mean? What do I want?" Like, she said, "What do you want?" And I said, so I sort of thought about it for a second, and I said, "Well, I want to grow the software company, and I want to raise capital for it, and use that money to grow it quickly, and turn it into an international business that helps lawyers around the world." And she said, "All right, well, let's get a plan in place to make that happen." And then she said, to do that and to give that the energy that is required and that it deserves, you'll need to, give up some of the other things. And when she first suggested that to me, I found that quite confronting, because I think, looking back on it, I was holding on to the other things like my law firm and the online conveyancing service, because even though they were going very well and in themselves they were big opportunities, but I was holding on to them because because they were like a comfort to me, where the software company, which is what I really wanted to do, was a big, scary, risky venture. And the law firm side of it was, it was comfortable, and it was, reasonably safe. And the thought of taking that away really scared the shit out of me, to be honest. But when I looked at what I wanted, I could see that after some thought, I could see that I needed to focus and to focus and get the software company, to get Automio off the ground. I really needed to focus and cut some of these other things out of my life. And so, following on from that, I then went on to sell my law firm, and ever since I've focused solely on Automio, and as well as my family. So. And I know that, I work with a lot of lawyers, a lot of amazing lawyers, and I can see themselves doing a similar thing, where they are trying to progress all these different projects and businesses and things at the same time. Plus they want to be there for their family, plus they want to, look after themselves and play sports and do hobbies and all these things. And they want to do them all, and they are doing them all, but at a cost, which is that they may not be progressing certain goals in their lives as fast as they could be. And so I wanted to put the same question to you. What is it that you want? Because if you look at your life and the actions that you're taking and the things that you're working on and the things that you've got going on, is that in line with what you actually want? Because certainly back when I asked myself that question, or my business coach asked me that question, I realized that my behavior and the things that I was putting energy into weren't really in line with what I actually wanted, which was to, focus on, run and grow the software company, to grow Automio. And And the reason I want to ask that question to you is that I think a lot of lawyers, experience this as well, and I'm seeing it a lot at the moment. A lot of lawyers are doing things like they're taking on additional projects, like taking on additional study, like specialist studies, going back to uni, doing different things, at the same time as, working on growing their businesses. I'm seeing a lot of lawyers writing books and things like that. And what's really interesting about those sorts of things is that while they are very worthy projects, they're not often in line with what the lawyer actually wants. A lot of the time I'll say to the lawyer, well, what do you want? And they'll say, well, I want to grow my law firm. And if they're going back to uni to do study, well, I don't know that that's necessarily in line with what it is that they want right now. Perhaps it could be another option or a better option to work on growing their law firm and getting it to a point in the next couple of years that it can operate without them, or largely operate without them, and then go back and do the study. And same with the book. Like if the goal, if what you really want right now is to grow your law firm and create that freedom for yourself and get your team in place and lay those foundations so that you can run the law firm, largely without you, then that really does need to be that sort of sole business focus for now. And things can come later. Perhaps it would be better to focus on growing the firm, laying those foundations, growing your firm's audience, people who are your ideal client, like bringing them into your audience and adding value to them, growing your firm, growing your revenue, growing your profitability, getting your law firm's team in place, your rockstar team in place, and then writing the book at some stage down the track when you have the freedom to do so because you have achieved your goal of growing your firm and getting it operating so that it is, working like a well-oiled machine. It works like clockwork without you, and you can have the freedom and the mind space to launch the book. Plus, you've already got an audience of people who you can launch the book to. So those are just a couple of examples of things that I'm seeing people get really caught up with that seem a bit out of alignment with what it is that they actually want. So I encourage you to ask yourself that question. What do you want? What is it that you really want? And it might be something to do with your law firm. It might be to grow your law firm, but it also may not be. It might be that you want a new pool for the house. It might be that you want to take a month off in September to spend time with your family. Whatever it is, like it could be big, it could be small, but asking yourself that question and saying, what is it that you really want out of life, right now and in the near future? Like, what is that thing? Then you need to be able to articulate that to yourself, and then you need to look at your behavior and the things that you've got going on and making sure that those things are in alignment with helping you achieve this goal. All right, peeps, that's it for today. I will see you next time. Bye.